Good morning and welcome to What's New with Mike and Jeff, your Saturday morning cool jazz station, coming to you live from the airwaves above. I'm your host, Mike, and with me is Yacht Rock Jeff.
You've missed your calling as a jazz radio DJ. I can see that now.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, I have the faith for radio.
I have a face made for radio.
So how are you, buddy?
I am good. I am better. I'm not doing bad.
Good. We're excited you are doing better.
I once again spent another day at the doctor's with the possibility of going to the ER over stupid stuff. So
you know, but at least you go to the doctors and you get stuff checked out, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, and I got I have a doctor's office that got me in where I know in Arizona I wouldn't be able to get that done. I would have had to go straight to the ER. And it was nothing urgent. It's just that with all of the cardiovascular stuff I got going on in my chest and my arteriograph, when my blood pressure does funny things, I don't mess around.
Well, and that's just the reality of your life. It's like you had some issues. Now you've got to change your lifestyle and monitor things differently.
You think I'd start doing that soon?
I have high blood pressure, which means I need to do certain things. Good morning, Don. How are you,
Don,
buddy?
how you doing, buddy? Hey, me too. I'm glad to see me not there either.
Yeah. So, but with my high blood pressure, I've got to change certain things. You know, I can't smoke a 12-pack or smoke a case of cigarettes or a pack. How do you get them? You get them in pack. I don't.
Are you having a stroke right now? Is that what's going on?
I had a brain fart.
And you can't drink. You can't drink. You know, a carton of cigarettes.
I just had a brain fart.
There you go. I know that.
That's why my room smells. But thank God we don't have smell-o-vision.
Well, one of the advantages of being back here on the health front, the hospital I went to, or the doctor's office I went to, is literally right across the street from the hospital when I had my aortic dissection.
Oh, good.
So all they got to do, and my doctor's office is a member of the Christiana Medical Group, so they have all my records with a keystroke, basically. In Arizona, one of the reasons it always took me so long, if I had an issue in Arizona, they had to, even though I gave them my records from up here, they still had to do a whole bunch of hoop jumping and everything else. So that's why I ended up staying. I was in the hospital a couple of times. One of the times I was there for 7 days.
Ouch. Good morning, Victor. And yes, we are the best thing on Saturday morning television since Josie and the Pussycats.
And for those of you that don't realize that is a pretty high bar.
That was a pretty epic show. Oh no. The world.
I'm gonna mute. You talk. I'll be right back.
Oh boy, you're gonna let me entertain everybody. Well, nothing really big on my hobby front. I am still just totally chipping away at getting all of my buddies Imperial Assault, Star Wars. I'm doing all the Rebel stuff for them. I'm just chipping away at getting all these miniatures done. I'm getting closer. After I clear off my desk of everything that I have in different stages of painting, I'll be down to the last 18 models, which I'm super excited about, because then I can start working on my projects. This is probably going to be a little over 2 months worth of painting, with my paint schedule the way it is. So I'm hoping by mid-April to have all of the Star Wars, all this stuff done for him. I'm just rambling on.
No, that's fine. My again granddaughter conversation. So
I'm getting closer to getting all Jason's work done for Imperial Assault is what I was rambling about. After I finish everything on my desk, I'll be down to the last 18 models. So like that light at the end of the tunnel is getting a little bit closer. Good morning, David.
Good morning, David. I've got to do the same thing here on my end too. So
you got to finish Jason's painting project?
No, I got to finish. Good morning, Aaron. How you doing?
Morning, Aaron. I didn't know you were painting for Jason.
The secret.
Double E secret. So, but once this gets done, then I can start working on my projects, which is my super secret project that I have not shared with anybody on the show except you, and it's still super secret, so don't share with anyone.
You have shared it with the right person because I think I forgot.
Thank you. That's why I shared it with you, because you walked into the kitchen and went, "Why am I here?" And then you kind of
I have that every morning. Like, who's on my StreamYard account? Oh wait, that's Mike.
you have like
I have your picture taped right here. Going, this is Mike. You do a show with him. Don't forget, you old geezer.
But depending on when you took that picture, because I constantly change my hair and my facial hair on a regular basis.
Yeah, the one I have is you're more distinguished, and you now have the '70s rocker look going on.
Well, I'm doing the feathered hair. I'm just gonna let it grow until somebody at work goes, "Yeah, Wilster, you need to cut your hair short." I'll be like, "No, I don't," and then we're just gonna see what happens. I may be unemployed. I don't really care.
There you go. That's always fun.
Yeah.
Makes life like a gamble. So
Well, I wanted something more interesting in my life, so I need to, figure that out. So, yeah, so I'm getting closer to getting these done, and then I'm gonna start working on that secret project.
nice. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
I eventually want to get back to painting my own stuff. I gotta get my Blood Bowl team finished up for my potential trip down to Orlando for the Chaos Cup.
Yeah.
Blood Bowl.
Which one are you finishing up? Chaos Dwarfs?
I just got in.
Or is this more of your Punga stuff?
Yeah, well, I got in. I have GW Norse team. I have a Punga Norse team, and I have the GW Chaos Dwarf team and the Punga Blood Bowl team.
All right.
Chaos Dwarves. But they didn't have when they didn't have the new character or the new troop types or player types for the Chaos Dwarves. So they put together a package, and I ordered them. They have the Hobgoblin special player, and they have the Chaos Dwarf special player.
Sweet.
So I've got to get those painted up and get that ready to go.
Yes.
But I've got a bit of time, so but it should be good.
Yeah, Aaron, I'm gonna grow my hair and put it in a ponytail. I'll be Ponytail. What movie was Ponytail in? Wasn't that like one of those 80s movie? I think it was the guy that did Karate Kid. Wasn't he named Ponytail in one of his
Yeah,
movies?
I'm not sure. I know somebody referred to
Where's Joe when we need a movie check on what we're talking about?
Joe's probably still painting more B sci-fi movie miniatures.
Yeah, I went to the shop. He showed me his.
What game are those for?
It's some random independent game that he found that's doing some.
This title should be "I have ripped off every old sci-fi thing."
Well, I think that is and they're metal miniatures, I believe.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, it's like old school, like cool stuff, and it looks interesting. It's a skirmish game, not a lot of miniatures on either side.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that.
We'll talk more about those when I show the pics.
Yeah, well, and you shared something with me, and I'm like, yeah, it's gonna take me down a path I probably don't want to go down, but I'm probably gonna end up going down it.
Yeah, I'm kind of happy with how that came out. We'll show that when
we'll show that. We're always showing off.
One of the frustrations, it's not mine. So it's like, yeah, okay.
Okay, he's calling it Star Schlock.
Yeah.
So it's like Victor probably it's like an independent game, if I'm not mistaken, like a small publisher type game. Especially if they're doing metal miniatures, because a little bit easier to mass produce. You can do that in the garage. Like if I had the molds, I could get a spin cast machine. Like it's affordable now,
right?
To buy a spin cast machine.
Well, yeah. You could even make your own molds because they're just a form of rubber.
Yeah, I think but sculpting is the key. So you would have to hire an analog sculptor, or
those guys are interesting to find right now too.
Yeah, they're kind of like model train guys. They're fewer.
I know Bob Rodolfi and one other sculptor. I can't think of her name. Lives out in the valley. I knew Bob pretty well. So
I would think there's probably still some out there, but it's a dying art because everybody's doing 3D or digital sculpting, and there is a difference in the models, I think, between someone that does it by hand with hand sculpting versus digital.
No, I agree.
Dan Wood does it. Wood. I wonder if
I think he meant wood, not wood.
Wood, but
or
not
Woodle. The L is silent.
I want to get some Galactica 25 miniatures. Those had some cool space suits and power armor. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember Galactica 25, but
I don't either.
that was a tongue twist. It's early. Too much coffee, I guess.
Something like that.
But yeah, so it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah,
Like,
awesome.
a little rip off. There's a RPG game that has gotten a lot of IPs. It's called Everyday Heroes, and it's Darren sells it at the shop.
Right.
And they have IPs for like Escape to New York and The Crow and just a lot of Pacific Rim, like a lot of just well-known IPs, but then little RPG supplements or splat books for them.
Right.
And it's interesting. It's like, all right, I don't know how they got all those IPs, but they did. Me and Joe are playing on Tuesday. He is going to teach me and show off his painted stuff. Yeah.
Well, we're going to show them off first.
Yeah. So there. But yeah, so I don't know if this company, like, there are some IPs that aren't terribly expensive to buy. They're known IPs, but there's this not a lot of excitement around them today. Like Escape from New York.
Right.
Cool IP, but yeah, not a whole lot of people are talking about Escape from New York.
It's unfortunate because it's a great movie, and like in some of these models, the Planet of the Apes, Star Trek, Forbidden Planet, are the sci-fi properties I recognize in a lot of the miniatures that showed. They were just fine. Well, probably the robot offended me.
And I don't know if Escape from New York would make a great miniatures game.
It would make a good board game, and I think there is a board game out for it.
Yeah, I think it would be a fun board game, but I don't know about like when you could like then they did another Kurt Russell
Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, and that was
I had that game. Darren and I played it a couple times. It's a fun game.
Yeah, and it was wildly successful. Like, we were put Heritage. Okay, way back in the day. We just had a new board game with miniatures last year. Okay, there we go. Yeah, but I don't know if like a miniature style game it would be all that.
Yeah, well, yeah, it wouldn't even be a good skirmish game. So,
yeah,
but a board game is great. I mean, actually, Big Trouble in China is a heck of a lot more fun than I thought it would be. I haven't played the other one. They did a Thing game from the original Thing.
Ooh, you have an award-winning Thing.
I do. I do.
Just have to throw that out there. I am suffering from some first world problems today.
Oh no, what's up?
I got a pimple on my elbow right here. So whenever I rest when I'm painting, I think it happened from painting. It's a painting pimple because I've been painting so much. I think I just got a pimple right there, and every time, and I can't pop it. So like every time I get like a sharp, like it's just that stinging, like a bee stung.
I absolutely know that feeling.
Yeah, so I'm having some real first world problems today. So, and I also rest my arms a lot on my chair, because I do that. Like I'm old, so I got to put stuff like right there in front of my face so I can paint it. And,
well, I have to raise my chair up considerably when I do the show because normally when I paint I'm much lower, so I'm not hunched over the table. So my table is I'm about two maybe 3 inches lower than I am right now. So I don't have to do this. I'm just doing this.
Okay, there you go. Victor just wrote a small story. So let's take a look at this. Escape from New York game where you can play Snake, Brian, Maggie, or Cabby trying to rescue the president and his precious Tave and bring him back to safety. It's kind of like the story goes.
Yep.
The gang's the most dangerous of all, the Manhattan, but yeah. As a board game, it's okay. As a miniature game, wouldn't work. Even as a board game gets tired of playing the same. Yeah. I think I've got a new outlook on certain things in life. I've been changing my view on the world. I no longer get excited about being able to play a game multiple times. You know what I'm saying? Like a board game. It's like, yeah, this board game's going to cost me, I don't know, $60, $70, $80, or this RPG book. So now I'm trying to look at it. When I pick it up and I'm looking at it at the shop, it's like we were talking about last week. How many hours am I actually going to spend on this, and will I actually enjoy it? And if I go, I'm just going to set this on my shelf and do nothing with it, I put it back away. I'm like, if I'm not going to engage with like the product,
Yeah.
and yeah, things are expensive. Everything's going up. Like that's just like RPG books are going up, miniatures are going up, and it's not just GW and big.
Yeah.
Everybody's going up.
Right.
The cost of labor is going up. The cost of transportation's going up. Cost of shipping's going up because we're just in a different world now where everything's just more expensive, and we just have to accept that. So now I'm just looking at things like how many hours. That's why I only bought that one model for the new 40K army, the Krieg. I'm like, I know I will spend probably a week, 2 weeks, maybe even a month painting that model, and it's going to provide me that level of enjoyment. That I'm looking at it more like a return on my investment.
Sure, I get it.
So it's just a new outlook. Like I'm just trying to get away from the sticker shock. More expensive because tariffs are going to be an issue, and we're going to have to face that. But I'm just trying to look at things. I'm trying to get away from the have to buy everything, have to have everything. Just kind of like, am I actually going to use this? Because I've got limited space in my life. I'm literally going through, throwing stuff away, cleaning out the garage, trying to make room just to like you can only see part of my hobby room. I just got too much stuff, and I don't know if this is a maturity thing or just a reality of like growing old and realizing preach realizing when I move on, my wife will realize how much money I spent on crap and I do nothing with it. So I'm just in this weird, I actually I bought this. This is a model kit.
Yeah.
I don't know the artist. I forget the artist. He's a famous race car artist. He does.
Yeah, I used to buy those kits all the time when I was a kid.
Yeah, and I'm like, I will enjoy just building that, painting that, and it was like $20. I'm like, all right, that's gonna, even if it just offers me a week worth of excitement, I'm like, that's gonna be fun. So I don't know. I guess I'm just looking at return on my investment of time, and if it's something's going to give me that, I will pick it up.
Fair enough.
All right, that's me done preaching.
Yeah, no, I'm actually planning on going to StoreCon this year, to the bargain area, renting a table and selling a bunch of my extraneous stuff. Because eBay is just a pain.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's really hard. They just make it harder and harder to sell anything. So, and then I've
got a buddy from GW that does that every year. So I talk to him. So do I, Joe. I always love him. So I'm gonna go up there. I'm gonna pick his brain on the best way to do it and send him a list of what I have. So he's gonna give me some decent pricing ideas. And I'm gonna go up there because the table, it's kind of like the garage sale, IOG, but it's on a convention level. So they have an entire the entire lower level is dedicated to this one area. So you can rent a table by by the day. It's a 3-day event. And I'm just gonna go up and see what I can sell and see what I can make and go.
And Historicon isn't historical gaming only. Historicon has a little bit of everything. So
pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's primarily historic in a lot of respects, but there is a presence of just general miniature gaming, and other things. So yeah, and it's only about 45 minutes from my house.
Oh, perfect. So you can just pack up the.
I don't even have to get a hotel. I can go up for both. I can go for Friday and Saturday, and drive home every night. I don't have time.
Yeah, and I'm assuming you prepay for the table.
Yeah.
All right, so that's cool.
Yeah, it's $25 a table per day. So that's
that's chump change. You'll sell that in the first hour because I am sure you have a very nice collection of stuff that would be.
Problem I have is one of the things I enjoy beyond painting. Actually, quite frankly, more than painting at times, I like to build stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I have a ton of unpainted stuff that's built in the bottom of my miniature case, and that's one of the reasons why I don't have a lot of boxed miniatures, uh, specifically character models,
Right.
because I just enjoy building. There are days I just want to build something.
See, I'm the opposite. I don't like taking them out of the box, so I just have boxes of boxes standing around. What is this? How many models do you have unopened and miniatures unpainted? As I have gotten older, buried several friends with tons of unopened models and unpainted miniatures, plus tons of paperbacks. So I am purging 90% of my stuff. I have 3 storage rooms plus garage full of hobby room. I could not answer that question honestly because I have so much unopened, unpainted stuff. I have banker boxes. Like you can see the banker boxes there. I have banker boxes full of just unopened blisters from back in 5th edition Warhammer, 40K or 5th, older, like when they used to come in a clam. What's that called? No, blister packs, because the clam packs are the newer ones.
Clamshell.
Yeah, so I have like box. I have a whole Empire army for War Master still in the blisters. Never open, never touch. Battle of 5 armies, never open, never touch. There's I don't know if you can see all that.
Yep.
All those games up there, just sitting there. Like that's the only place I can store them. So yeah, I don't have like Victor saying he has 3 storage units. Was that, did I read that right? 3 storage
rooms plus a garage full.
So I don't know what a storage room is. Is that like a?
Well, if he's talking about storage facility, it could be fairly large. He's talking about his rooms in his house. But that's one of the things. Everybody that anybody that games for there are guys that play 40K because they just want to play 40K.
Yeah.
So they have some unpainted stuff, but they're mostly they buy to build an army and play the game.
Yeah.
Guys that paint and hobby. And then for me, playing is a secondary benefit of miniatures. If that makes any sense.
No, makes perfect sense.
I love playing games, but I prefer if a bunch of us got together and said, "Hey, want to get together and have a Saturday? What are we going to do?" And the 2 options were let's play some games or let's paint, and we all voted. I would 90% of the time say, "Hey, let's sit down and paint."
Yeah.
That's just because I enjoy that a little more. So guys like that they just amass a ton because I buy models strictly because someday I want to paint them, knowing in the back of my mind I will probably never get to it. Yeah. But my intention at the time is I'm going to paint this.
You start with that good intention. Me too. Painter first. You start with that good intention. I want to paint that. I bought that little scale model kit. I want to paint this. I think it would be fun. I have so much stuff to get storage rooms, 10 by 15. Oh my gosh. When I got the 3rd one, it was time to purge, plus a holiday decoration. Oh, I need to get one for holiday decorations. But we start that way, and then like everything, it's then the next thing and the next thing. That's why like I'm shifting my mindset when I pick something up. Like, am I going to do this?
For example, you know that new case I got that I showed was all lit?
Yeah.
All my painted stuff got moved to that case. Except I got 1 shelf empty on that I haven't filled yet. See that big tall case?
It's all full.
It's all full of unpainted, top to bottom.
Yeah.
And like the top is all my wolf spear that I still have to paint for my wolf spear army.
Right.
The next shelf down is my Votan stuff. That's all my Marvel United stuff on the 3rd shelf. And then my new Team Yankee stuff that I'm doing. And then the bottom 2 shelves are miscellaneous.
Just random. I built this model.
And they are other than the Team Yankee shelf, which I'm sure I'll correct soon, is not completely full. So, because I used to have shelves here that all that stuff set on, and it just got out of hand. And that's not counting all the miniature cases I have in the back that have unpainted stuff.
Yeah. I do the storage boxes. I have tons of them. I have like all my old. So I used to be different. I used to be build it, play with it, paint it when you get time, but at least I'm playing the game. So it used to be play first, paint later.
Right.
And my painting, it turned into I was always playing or building lists or doing other things. I really wasn't painting a whole lot. And
Oh,
over
I'm
time,
sorry. I had to move, and that's why we don't
oh,
play.
dude, this was before you.
I know. I know.
This was way before you. Um,
Hurtful.
I had a life before you, Jeff.
No way.
Yeah.
Not possible.
Not possible. But yeah, so I used to be the player and then the painter. Always a collector, though. Always going to be collecting and buying and storing. And that's why I think I've become a storer. I store stuff.
We have a new edition of Star Trek Ascendancy, which is a fantastic game, and we partner with GameFound for it.
Okay.
And as an employee, we can pick a copy up. And Rob refers to me now as a completist.
Oh yeah,
because he knows me as well as you do. Is that I don't understand why I don't play Pokemon, because Pokemon's motto is my life as far as miniatures go. Gotta catch them all.
Yeah.
And I would just walk in. Good point, Joe. I agree completely.
I don't know.
Excitement now.
Jeff has added a certain level of chaos to my life. Yes.
I was going to use the word uncertainty, but chaos works too.
Chaos. Well, just because we were talking chaos dwarfs. So
yes,
yeah, you should be collecting Pokemon, and I get the complete. But all I gotta say is Blood Bowl, and we all understand Jeff's hobby mindset. He plays Voltan. He's going to buy every unit, regardless of what the meta says and everything else. He's going to buy every model and paint it. Matt from okay. You have own all the things. New shiny mini games come around, and I get it. So I stopped. Expect Joe getting me into start.
I think the biggest thing that's going on with you right now, Mike, is the fact that when we lived in closer proximity and would travel to these events together, you could satisfy your what I call retail therapy by spending my money. What I mean by that is not that it would be like I would go, I'm not buying nothing, I'm not doing anything at all, and I'd literally go stand in a corner. and Mike would go, I was over by that table, and they're selling a full squad army.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to, yeah, you were my retail therapy. I don't have a spend somebody else's money kind of person in my life anymore. So now I have to spend my money, and I just don't like spending it.
Or he'd go, I got some really nice Viking dice trays over there. I can literally make a shelf, probably 2 or 3 shelves in my apartment that say stuff Mike told me to buy. and the thing is, though, you're not twisting my arm. You're not saying, hey, buy this, or I'll break your legs. You're just going, they have this really cool thing over there. And
I just point you in the direction of cool stuff, and then you just go like. However, to return that favor, hey Mike, there's a bucket of dice.
Yeah,
and I'm gone. I don't know what kind of illnesses I brought home from LVO after the bucket o' dice. I was sick for a week, but man, I picked up a ton of cool dice.
You were rummaging through that dice barrel. It was actually funny because Andy and I were actually laughing about it because we walked into the booth and you kind of went, is that a barrel of dice? And then you just kind of went, and that's where you were. I don't know how long you stood by that barrel just doing this and buying looking for certain dice. It was insane. It was crazy.
Well, I was looking for sets of certain things. And this was the GW booth, and it was at the time when GW was making all of the. Well, they still make custom dice, but they were different back then. A little bit different custom dice compared to what they're making today. And they just threw all the ones that weren't selling in a bucket, and you had to dig through to find complete sets. It was Blood Bowl.
It wasn't a bucket; it was a 55-gallon barrel.
Yeah,
now, it wasn't completely full, but it was this big barrel, And
Yeah.
probably, I'd say, what, a foot down, maybe 2?
It went up.
Did you? Maybe it was a 55 gallon.
So yeah, but I still have, like, there was Necromunda dice, and I bought like all the black and yellow ones with the skull. Where it's just D6s, but I got this whole big set of those now, and I bought all the chaos dice. I just bought tons of stuff.
My daughter, because we do Christmas Eve here at my apartment.
Yeah.
So my kids and my grandkids come over, and my oldest daughter, who's a planner, she's a little bit like her dad, a little OCD, and she's kind of a planner. You know how I get when I'm running an event.
Oh, running an event, yes, but not running a show.
But here we go. Here we go. She has decided when we get together on Christmas Eve, we play games.
Right.
This last Christmas Eve, she comes in and she goes, "I got this game, Dad. It's gonna be great." And we're getting everything put together for getting ready to play games. We've had our Christmas presents and we've had our celebration. And she goes, I'm sitting in my chair, and she goes, "Dad, I need a few D6s. Do you have any dice?" And I went, "I have dice." And I came walking out with probably a half a dozen gigantic leather dice bags and went bonk. Which of course my grandkids lost their mind over. And she only needed like 5 dice. It was insane. It was great.
Got them all. Heron said that he had a Storm Raven gunship and some armor class content. I don't even know. Minotaurum?
And some
Minotaurum
armored containers that were stolen by burglars this past November. That's the little they look like 40-foot container things that GW made.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. It's stolen from burglars this past November. Now I may have to replace. Oh yeah, man. That's horrible, man. I'm sorry to
hear that.
Yeah, I don't want my collection to be done that way. You know what we ought to do? Here's what we ought to do.
What's that?
Everybody should take pictures of their pile of shame and post them on Discord.
No.
Okay, let me Mike, come here. We're the hosts. We don't have to pay.
Oh, okay. You see this wooden box? Like each one of these this was the best find at Hobby Lobby I've ever had, because each one of these drawers is an army or game system I was going to play at one time, and it's just full of miniatures and
yeah. Well, here's what you guys should do. All right, since we're having this conversation, and Mike and I are the only ones divesting ourselves of our burden, and Victor, of course. Everybody take a picture of then take many pictures, Joe. That doesn't stop you from taking pictures of all the miniatures you paint.
Put it on the Discord under which
I know for a fact when Joe posts pictures to Discord, he giggles because Jeff's going to have to do all the work to get these pictures ready for the show. So look at it that way. All right, look at it that way, Joe.
There you go.
You're just making work for me, so that should motivate you. Everybody take pictures of your pile of shame. Yeah. Mike's gone remote.
See all those white boxes?
Yeah. See, there you go.
Look at all that.
Yeah, there you go. I will take some pictures of mine because they're in multiple rooms, but I will take it.
Just remember, you asked for it.
I am fully aware. Aware. And then I will do a Captain Kirk impression Friday night next to Joe.
That'd be awesome. Yeah. So I have quite the So
me too. The only problem is I'd have to drive. When I moved to Arizona the last time, all of my stuff is in boxes in my daughter's house.
Yeah.
And one's in my daughter's garage, the other's in my daughter's basement. So I still need to go get that stuff cleared out. So
I always worry, like in Arizona, it's just a little different keeping stuff in the garage. Like you live in a cooler climate where I would be content basement garage all day long. But Arizona, I know some people do it. In just the short 5 years, I've almost kind of. I'm glad we could be a good influence on you, David. Here's the other thing, though. Like, I look at all this stuff, it has zero value.
Yeah, I will push back on that a bit because it doesn't have its collectability value or its resale value is you're absolutely correct. But at some point in time, it did provide you with something.
Yeah. Well, there's joy
Right.
and memories
Right.
and that, but as far as value, because this is the out of production concept of, oh
Right.
my God, it's out of production. Now it's worth $10,000. It's like, no, it's not. It's
Mm-mm.
still a chunk of lead.
Well, I will have to say, collectability on that stuff has improved, but you don't go through eBay.
Okay, you've got to go through a private market.
Yeah, I had a long chat with Nigel, the gentleman I was speaking about that, and there is a collectability factor to it, but it's the right people. Because you've heard me say this before. Something's only worth what someone's willing to pay.
Correct.
It doesn't matter what your guidebook says. If someone's not willing to pay it, they're not good. It's not worth that.
Right.
But if you eBay and online sales have kind of become a garage sale where people are looking for the best price.
Right.
But there are collectors out there that are willing to pay a little bit more for whatever reason.
Sure.
Like the biggest reason I bought the Man of War and I bought the Squad Army, and I got a decent price on both of them. But it was that nostalgic thing for me. All right. And that's why, even though I'm selling everything and kind of divulging myself, I don't plan on selling my Man of War or my Squad Army because I will find a way to play Man of War again because I'm actually getting ready to, I'm thinking seriously, I shouldn't say getting ready, but I'm thinking seriously about buying another one of those curio cabinets to display my Man of War stuff.
It probably would fill it.
You know, I probably because the shelves aren't that deep, I might not be. It might not all fit.
What if you got the acrylic shelving,
like the risers?
Yeah, risers.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to probably would have to do. But I mean, that's not anything I'm going to do in the near future. But I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
So I understand what you're saying, but for me, I just the fact that I own it is kind of a point of I guess joy and pride for me.
Right. Risers in clear blue. That would actually look kind of cool.
That would cool. That would look very cool.
That would look really cool. Yeah. Well, let's move on to photos.
I didn't do the photos.
Okay. Let's move on to
I did the photos. That's why I was so late getting on.
Yeah, you weren't late.
And I overslept. So.
You showed up precisely when you were supposed to show up.
Just like a wizard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
Got to press the buttons.
I know it. Remembering what buttons I had to press.
Joe's Gorillas.
Yeah, I was looking at these going, what the heck game are these for? And then they have ripped off every favorite movie every movie or TV show I've ever had.
Well, it's the one in the middle that makes me laugh the most.
You know what it looks like?
What's that?
It looks to me like he's flipping that guy the bird. That was my first thought when I saw that picture.
But then you get the next photo.
Banana.
It's a banana. He's handing a banana phone. I think it's a banana phone. That's what I'm thinking it is.
Well, this guy here is going, give him a banana. Or I will shoot you in the head.
But yeah, this is for the game that Victor and Joe will be playing on Tuesday at IOG. If you're interested, someone shout out a time when you guys are going to be playing it, in case anybody wants to go down and check it out. But this is a kind of a multi-genre game.
Yeah, we're going to see the different genres it covers.
Yeah, so
look
at those guys.
They're dancing.
Getting down, getting funky. Whoa. 1:30ish p.m. There you go. Tuesday,
1:30. There's some kind of critter in some sci-fi movie or show that this critter comes from.
Yeah. Look at it. Well, that's the alien silverback gorilla.
Yeah.
There you go. This is what happens when you put your head in a jar. It gets stuck.
Pretty much.
2 with Vic and 6 with Bob. So Joe's got 2 games scheduled at IOG.
Okay.
1:32ish and 6 o'clock. Ring.
This is the Robbie the Robot ripoff that offended me.
But it's so close to the real thing. It actually looks like the real model.
Very close, absolutely. And
Didn't
everybody
you
knows
do a scale model kit with Robbie the Robot, and you added the
I have 3 different scale models of Robbie the Robot. I have a vinyl kit of Robbie the Robot. I have the pop figure of Robbie the Robot. He is my Lemmy.
Okay.
I've got 2, Ben Grimm and Robbie the Robot.
But you have you did a sound card in one, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Like lights and sound card and stuff. You totally decked it out.
Yep.
I remember that model.
And I also have the same thing for my my B9 robot from Lost in Space.
There you go. Look at that. Look at that. Nice.
Mixing Forbidden Planet and Star Trek. How offensive.
Captain's log. Look at that. That's like old school. Like when did Star Trek come out?
Original series Star Trek. Yeah.
When did it originally come out?
66, yeah, 66, I think.
Yeah, this is old 60 style.
Yeah, 66, I believe, was when it aired. I have very vague memories of sitting on the arm of my dad's chair watching Star Trek when I was wee
the Weebles one or the Critters one is always the best.
Yep, that's what I thought, Joe. Thank you. Old green monkey man.
Yeah. He's a sage or a king. He looks like he's got a throne.
He's got a crown somewhere on there.
Yeah. Look at that. More beam me up. Look at that.
Yeah.
Even got the pointy ears on Spock.
Yep. Very Star Trekky.
Very cool. Oh.
Yeah. This is another paint job that offended me.
Why is that?
It is called what are they called? Something Wolves. They're from JP. JP got rockets. And he called them something. Hang on 1 minute.
Uh-oh. But why did it offend?
I'll tell you here in a minute. That's why I said hang on 1 minute.
Well, I'm curious minds want to know. This is
Nova Wolves.
Nova Wolves.
And he's using Wolf Spear decals because he can. No. I forbid it. But they look real nice.
I wonder if he's getting him ready for the Nova Open.
Possibly. I'm surprised Joe's not mad because they look like the same color as his Rangers.
Ah. And a Sandman Guns.
Logan. Yes, from Logan's Run. I thought the same thing. So, but that's what JP's working on right now.
Very cool.
Very, very nice.
Love those paint handles. They're upside down, but that's okay.
What? Oh, yeah, I forgot. They're being used properly. How do they not have any spray paint on those?
Oh, like mine are multicolored.
Yeah.
Maybe he maybe has the spray stick. Remember the spray stick? And you got one? Yeah, maybe he's got the spray stick.
Yeah, useless.
Yeah. Yeah. You can just get a paint stir, some double stick tape, and you're good to go.
That's one of those things I bought. Hey, that might be handy. And I thought it was for a while. That's a lot of work. It took me longer to get the miniatures in it.
All right, so this is Mark Z.
Yeah, this is Mark's project. But now I found out why he thought I forgot them last week, but he put them on because I did the pictures last week on Friday in the evening. He didn't put these on until like 1:48 my time Saturday.
Yeah, well, that would be a problem. That would be. But again, amazing,
fantastic work as always.
Scale models are just
as always.
Yeah. Love how he tilted the front wheels slightly just to give it that extra. And it's those little details you see. Like scale model cars are a little different. You don't really weather them as much. You can, but most people don't. They do a clean paint job, showroom quality.
Showroom stuff, yeah.
So it's the little details, the license plates and the lights and then the really clean paint jobs and hitting all that trim nice.
Yep.
It's just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Love it. He even did the door lines. It looks like he did the door lines. To black them, maybe a little oil wash or something in there to make those stand out, or it could just be
out a bit.
Looks cool.
Very, 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 very cool.
clean paint job. Nice metallic blue.
Yeah, it is. Nice metal flake.
Yeah, love how he put the rear view mirrors are all the way to the front.
Well, that's how that car was designed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't see. You'd be like this the whole time. I mean, can't tell.
Building and painting scale model cars and planes in the 70s got me in a chainmail and mini. Yes.
Yeah.
Heating element in the rear window. I didn't notice he put the heating element. Oh yeah, look at that.
Yep.
Details. It's all about the details.
Yep.
Love it. Just love it.
Excellent. Well done, Mark. Looks really, really good.
Yeah.
There we go.
The motor.
No hood.
Love it. Even the interior, he did some cool little blue inlays in the seats.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Just love it. I don't know what my favorite scale of cars would be. If it would be doing the larger scale model kits for cars or doing the standard 1/24ths.
Yeah.
I do like the larger scale kits because you get a little bit more detail.
Yeah, they're just. I prefer. I really like making 32nd scale aircraft, but they're so big. I got no place to put them.
Yeah.
So. And then Tim's doing some more.
War Monster 1-to-1. Yeah, I wish I had 1-to-1. I don't have a lot of room for 1-to-1 scale stuff.
I did some 1-to-1 modeling last week when I put a new thermostat in the Explorer.
How'd that work out for you?
Good.
All right. Now you know what the temperature is outside.
No. Thermostat keep the engine cool. Thermometer worked just fine.
I know. I was just giving you a hard time. Yeah, Tim's cranking out some more War Master stuff. Going nuts.
Two-headed dragons.
Yeah. Very cool. Cavalry is ready to charge in the middle. Yes, that's what it's all about. There's your Demon Lord and your Chaos Lords and all your wizards. Very cool stuff. Looks like they're all on some sort of mud base. Mud. I don't know if he's finished and he's going to do anything else with the basing. Looking good. Yeah, there it is.
Ta-da!
Tradar.
Lord Master Dryer, I think it's.
Yeah,
Lord Marshall Dryer.
That's the one I picked up. I just want to paint that. That model just looks stunning.
Yeah, this is a commission I got the same time you got that model to paint. I got this commission and I knocked out the first guy. I've got all the Death Corps of Krieg.
Are you painting them? It looks like you're doing it on him, but I don't know if you're doing the whole army in that like gray blue color that they're all painted in.
No, just him.
Okay.
The rest of the guys will be the riders on the Death Riders will be a different color. They'll be more to match that. Remember last week I did the Tempest equivalents?
Yeah.
The riders will match because he's a named character. I stuck more to the actual colors.
Okay.
His uniform is different and it's just black. But the rest of them will match up to the rest of the army.
Hey David, have a great weekend, buddy. We'll see you next time.
Take care, bud.
Just so you know, we will not be on next week.
Yeah.
Jeff's it's daylight savings and he's got plans with the fam.
I have my grandson's birthday party.
So it's just bad timing with everything going on. So just so you know. What color are you using for that blue gray?
Which one? The sash?
The sash and the uniform jacket.
Like the uniform jacket is just black with That's not it. Where's it at? Where's the blue I used? That might be that.
I asked the difficult questions.
Well, I can't find the blue I used. It should be sitting right here, but it is not.
Uh-oh.
It's not Calidor Sky. Well, it might be Calidor Sky now that I think about it.
So that's a GW?
Calidor Sky GW paint.
Okay.
Because of the fact that I've done all the others in the other one in the colors that he wanted were Citadel colors. Okay. So I'm sticking with Citadel colors on this particular project.
And then you just did edge highlighting on all.
Just an edge highlighting on a lot of it. Wrong way. So, and then the sash, I start with Dark Reaper.
Okay.
And then I kind of mixed a 50-50 blend with Dark Reaper and Blue Horror.
Okay.
And then did a final quick edge highlight in the
on that. turned out beautiful. I love just how everything turned out. The red is just vibrant. So, and your horse, you went with the traditional. So you pretty much copied the box art.
On the horse, well, I don't know if I copied the box art because I used. I mean, it's still the light with the reddish blend on the hooves. But I used Wraithbone.
Okay.
As my base color, and then I just added some white highlights.
You're not late, David. You're right on time, buddy.
Yeah. And I did some white highlights on the fur raised areas. And then I used, what is the color I used for the, let me find it here. Not that one. There's a really nice burgundy color. Barak Nar Burgundy.
Okay.
I did that as a glaze on the hooves.
Just to make them get that, like...
Or on the feet, because this thing's got talon.
Yeah, it's weird. But I like
it. That's the burgundy color from GW. And I did that in a series of layers, like a glaze.
Okay.
And then at the end, I then gave it a glaze of Agrath Earthshade to darken it a bit because it was a little pinkish. Okay. So I darkened it a bit for the guy that wanted it. So
just turned out amazing.
Yeah, it's a fun model to paint. It really, really is.
Well, because the torso, the model, like the horse, basically is a piece, but it has the lower half of the dude on it.
Right. Yeah. The legs, the rider. Yeah.
The legs, but not the tip of the feet. You got to put the tip of his feet on, which is weird, but I get it.
And all of the Death Riders of the Creek have that same thing.
Do they?
Yeah. You gotta glue the toes on, essentially.
Glue the toes on.
Yeah.
That's just funny. But it does look like a cool model. I just love it. I can't wait to tear into mine and just paint it up.
I cheated a bit with these wood panels or these logs or boards here and the fence posts for the barbed wire. I literally just based those in Wraithbone.
Uh-huh.
And then hit them with scale 75 intense wood.
Oh yeah,
like a almost like contrast. A lot of guys that I've seen, every time I start a new project, I watch 2 or 3 videos before I start it, just to kind of see where I want to end up and how I want to do it.
All right.
A lot of guys primer it white and then use Serum Sepia.
Wash it.
And just wash it with a nice, it's kind of a glaze of Serum Sepia over it, and then go back and hit their highlights again. But I like the Wraithbone look, and then I just gave it kind of a white highlight. And the other cool thing is I don't get a chance to use XV88 very often.
XV88.
Or is that XV88? No, Xandri Dust is what I do.
Oh, Xandri Dust. I love that color.
Yeah, that for the muzzle.
Yeah.
For the gas mask. So it was a fun project.
I have some Xandri Dust sitting on my desk.
Yeah, but I thought it was kind of, I hesitated on putting it up because I wasn't sure where you were with your project, but I thought now it's good.
Oh, mine's still sitting in the box like we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
I
highly recommend it. It's a really, really, really fun paint job. It's actually
it's not an army I want to play though. I've always liked the Imperial Guard. I've always thought it was a great army, but I'm like, it's just people. Like it never was one of those armies that I'm like, I've got to play this army. But I've always liked the fact that it has a lot of tanks, and I guess but I was just more drawn to orcs. And orcs used to get a lot of vehicles differently, but they used to have a lot of vehicles where you could just confiscate a tank and just call it a tank, an orc tank, and you could just have it. But anyways, now this Krieg stuff, and I like the Forge World Krieg models. I've always liked them. I always longed for them, but I never wanted to spend the money on Forge World stuff back then. Nowadays, it's pretty comparable. It's
yeah.
I think the boutique models of Forge World have kind of, I don't know where Forge World is anymore as far as
Forge
like
World
they
is still
do like a
producing
few
stuff.
things.
Yeah, they're still producing stuff, but I think uh, plastic technology has gotten, because used to be there were only models you could only really do in resin. It was difficult to get them in plastic.
And it also was things they just didn't probably think would market as well.
Well, that's the other thing. How many are we going to actually sell?
Right.
You know, because that's one of the things that a lot of people don't get. We talked about this a little bit last week. Is one of the reasons why character models are if you look at like a regiment set, you break it down by price per model. Character models are astronomically more expensive.
Sure.
But just because they're going to sell fewer, just by the nature of what the model is.
You don't need 20 of them.
Right.
You know, well, unless you're a Space Marine lieutenant.
Well, or like me, when I went to my interview at GW, at that point in time, it was all they were mostly metal, and anyone that interviewed well, that interviewed and was being considered, got to go on a tour of the plant, because back then we made product in the States.
Right.
We didn't make plastic, but we definitely spun cast our own stuff. You got to get they would give you a kilo of metal, so you got to go to the metal room and fill a bag to 1 kilo. And they gave it to you for free. And I literally took that kilo in Green Knights. Horses. Just the horse.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to do a Grail Knight unit on the Green Knight's horse.
There you go.
And I converted them all to running stance with the guy in front. I put different riders on them. But that didn't happen. You don't get a nut bag like that very often.
Yeah. Aaron, no, GW did not do away with Forge World, but they did change what Forge World was doing. They do more specialty stuff, like they'll do the special characters for a Blood Bowl team, because like they don't know how many they're going to sell or whatever their logic is behind it. But they do more specialty stuff. They're just not as big as they used to be. You don't go to the Forge World website like you used to and just browse.
It's all literally incorporated in that one Warhammer site.
Yeah.
No, I eventually think the Forge World will go away. They'll still offer that product, because most of that stuff has switched over to plastic. Most of the larger kits have been coming out in plastic, and so Forge World's still there. Like, for example, a lot of the direct only stuff they call direct only would be labeled as Forge World. Like they still don't have any of the Bull Centaurs for the Chaos Dwarfs. I still can't get them.
Yeah. So yeah, they're just changed, but it is it's just not the same. But it used to be back in the days, which was Tuesday, according to you.
It's always a Tuesday. Just remember that.
You used to go to the Forge World and you could just look for hours. Like they had epic stuff. I have a ton of Forge World epic stuff. They had all kinds of epic stuff and all kinds of cool fantasy models and 40K stuff. And it was all the weird, kind of cool. That was the boutique style miniature stuff back in the day. But
it was for what they used to refer to as the nutters.
Yeah.
The guys, like for example, my Battlefleet Gothic fleet was mostly Forge World ships. And I had so many stands of Thunderhawks that were only available through Forge World. It wasn't even funny.
Yeah. But it's just different. One of these days, maybe Battlefleet Gothic will make a reappearance. But you know what? Void Admiral's really not. It's actually kind of a cool game.
Yeah. I'm still avoiding that. Based on our conversation earlier.
Armorcast. Oh, the old Armorcast.
Oh man, Armorcast. Yeah.
Good old days. Yeah.
But
times have changed, and now when you look at old Forge World or Armorcast stuff and you compare it to today's stuff, you're like, that's kind of basic. But that's where some of that collectability market is at, where some people are like, I need to get this particular model to match the rest of my army because the new stuff doesn't look good with my old army.
Yeah. You remember talking about earlier in the show where I said nothing is it's only worth what someone's willing to pay. Right. And we did that big, and I forget what event you and I did for the show, but I ended up painting my Grotfang, that big Forge World. Back when Forge World did statues, they did that large Grotfang.
I think that was just a Oktoberfest, or
I think it was our Oktoberfest. I think you did your gigantic. I
did the Squigoth.
That's right. Squigoth. That was right. Yeah. But people come across, because I post everything online. And I'll still get people that come across that post well, hey, are you willing to sell that? And nobody, it's not worth as much to them, I guess, as it is to me.
Right. You value well again, it was your memories.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and you can't sell memories. I learned that from American Pickers and count cards.
Morning,
Good
Mark.
morning, Mark. You can't sell memories. Memories have no value to the buyers. So you got to sell it for what it's worth. David said if they made Gothic again, he'd probably make the exception to buy some more stuff. And I think the GW could suck me back into their world with a Gothic game.
Yeah, well, the real weird thing is, I personally, that Grotfang to me is massively exciting. It's a gigantic resin orc model, and I can't even find people online where it even comes up.
Yeah, like you're one of the very few people.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of got to ask yourself, where did those all end up? They're probably in someone's closet.
Well, back in the day, that was Forge World's main thing. They did statues and busts, and I picked up as many as I could.
Yeah.
And then they went a different way because they realized people would buy rare units that weren't going to sell too much, and that's what Forge World became.
Yeah.
I eventually think Heron is correct. Eventually, Forge World I think will go away because they can do most of that stuff in plastic now.
Yeah, it's time. Right now, though, I think I really only see Forge World a lot in the Blood Bowl world because that's where they do all their specialty characters. Is you have to order them through Forge World, or you buy the resin. You're buying it from the GW site now, but it's still a branch, I believe. But it's just
I think it will be for a while, but I think eventually it'll just fade away.
Well, give them time.
Yeah. You know? Oh yeah, I'm not talking about next week. I'm talking down the road.
Well, as technology advances, they may turn in Necromunda stuff too. Yeah. They may turn into a 3D print farm where they're just going to go back to, like, as soon as the technology for 3D printing gets to the point where the speed is better, where a corporation can go, yeah, at the speed and how we can produce and get them out is fast enough. I think you may see Forge World shift to a 3D printing world of, just 3D print that stuff and get it out. And it's going to be the unique stuff, the stuff that people aren't going to buy as much.
Well, as price for 3D printers comes down, it also becomes when you can actually buy, you can have 400 3D printers cranking at one time.
Yeah, and I don't know if they have high level industry value, like printers that are more reliable than the stuff we get in the home.
Well, I would imagine there's some industrial size 3D printers. Has to be,
and I'm sure that's probably where GW is looking at that technology.
They gotta do something because it's come along quick.
Yeah, well, the new spin cast is get away from the metals, and now they use that recyclable spin cast stuff. Which has totally changed the spin cast world. Yeah. I forget what they called the stuff. Infinity went to it.
Right. Yeah, I forget what it's called.
Yeah, but that's really changed the spin cast world.
I have so many Infinity models.
Yeah. You do like Infinity, don't you?
I thought the game was a lot of fun, but it was exhausting.
you look exhausted as we talked about it.
Well, it was. I love the premise. I love the models. And I played in one event at IOG, but because of the way Infinity rules were written, I would do almost as much in your turn as I do in my own.
Yeah,
because you react when stuff pops in your line of sight, which I think is a great mechanic. But I kind of like okay, I'm going to run to the bathroom, you do your movement. I'll be right back. So.
Yeah. Yeah, Joe, you got to write COcast, or however they pronounce it.
Yeah.
They keep making more and more forget world stuff plastic. I'm sure the bottleneck production in their factory gets sorted. Might be another few kits. It could be.
Yeah, Mark's correct. They make industrial 3D printers for the automotive industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're out there.
I think that's where GW might be looking. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not in there.
I think they kind of have to at some point.
They're going to have to do something. Forge World is still there though. That's because not every model is going to sell at the same level.
Oh no! Well, you're always going to find. I mean, like for example, the game that Victor and Joe are playing, that's all metal models. There's still going to be those little, as I would refer to as eclectic.
Yep.
companies that still want to crank out some stuff for nostalgia. I remember a day that I very firmly said I'll never have plastic models in my army, because at that point in time, plastic was horrible. It looked bad.
Oh, they were like, oh crap.
And now I have to laugh because they'll put out, like when they put out the new Bretonians for Old World, and they compared them to all the different versions of I think it was Morgana Le Fay was one of them. I remember getting nuts crazy over those old models that now next to the new plastic, I'm like, those look like ass.
Yeah, they do. Cyberpunk Red Combat Zone uses COCAS and it also has that reaction system where you're always involved. Yeah. No, and those can be exhausting games.
Yeah, well, for a knockoff one game, they're not that bad, but playing in an event where you got 3 rounds is like exhausting.
Yeah. It's not like Blood Bowl where you just watch your team get smashed into the ground for a whole turn. Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah.
All right. So next week we are not here.
We will not be here next week. I will be celebrating my 10th birthday. Not my 10th birthday, my grandson's 10th.
I was gonna say, boy.
I left a word out when I said my birthday. It was my grandson's birthday. I randomly dropped one.
Yeah. So next weekend we're not here. So mark your calendars, sleep in, do what you got to do. Which I will spend the day getting caught up on paint. Yesterday was a rain day here in Arizona. It was overcast, rainy all day, which was glorious. We needed the water. I needed my truck washed, so I drove in the rain to wash my truck because that's the only time my truck gets washed. I don't wash my vehicle. Best dynamic duo on the internet. Thanks for the great show.
My day is the same thing. I'm going to sit and do some painting. I got to run my granddaughter somewhere. Apparently, that was my call was about.
All right. Well, then we're going to go ahead and cut out. We'll be back in 2 weeks. So I will have hopefully a big flood of miniatures on the Discord channel. Don't forget to paint your closet of shame or your unpaint. Post your pictures.
Your closet of shame.
Closet of shame, your drawer of shame, your box of shame.
Do you want to make a new space for those pictures?
Just put them under the hobby desk because that one doesn't get used.
Oh yeah, hobby desk. That's right.
Under your hobby desk.
That'll work.
Just kind of flex a little. Like, yeah, be proud of it. Here's my unbuilt project collection. Don't say flood. No, probably a bad word.
The back of IOG flooded.
Oh, did it?
In the rain, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
How bad? He's always had that problem with that one storage room in the back.
Yeah, apparently it's pretty bad.
Oh, yeah. The landlord's never. I bet you the wood is probably just rotted there, and
the
roof off and chiseling away at my mountain so I can post more. There you go, David.
There you go.
Keep watching the show, and we'll keep telling you more about new games that you can add to your.
Well, for those guys that weren't watching earlier in the show, Mike and I were talking about all of our stuff we had lying about, stuff unpainted, this, that, and the other. Should we collect it? Shouldn't we collect it? That kind of thing. And I came up with a bright idea. Take a picture of your pile of unpainted stuff that you may or may not ever get to. Yes. And post it on Discord so we can show them off next week.
Mark says he has an entire rack.
Oh, an entire rack.
It depends. I've seen Mark's basement.
The rack could be big.
Yeah, that could be a pretty big rack.
But he doesn't tell us is the rack he's referring to is the one that when he busted through the wall of his basement and dug a tunnel for another room, and that this gigantic rack in there.
There you go.
Take a picture of your unpainted stuff, your unpainted projects, your pile of gray, whatever you want to call it, so we can all commiserate together.
I just look around. And then I just close my eyes.
Mike is not part of this because he actually grabbed his camera this morning and showed us a lot of this stuff. I will take pictures of mine, and I will of my closet of shame. And quite frankly, if I get to my daughter's house before the next show, I will. I'll even go down in the basement in their garage and take pictures of stuff that they're storing for me. So
yeah, right now I've been cleaning I have 2 hobby rooms at the house. I have. Right. This is my painting hobby room, and then I have a gaming hobby room. where I got like board games and RPGs and a dice collection. And I've been cleaning that room up, making it because that's visible in the house. So if someone comes to the house and goes through the house, they see this room. So I've been cleaning that up. And everything that I've been taking out of there has just been piled up in here. So now, after I finish Jason's project, one of my other things is to clean up this space somehow. We'll figure it out.
Well, 2 weeks from tonight, you guys got 2 weeks. Get pictures of your pile of unpainted, unbuilt, all that stuff, and post them on Discord, and we'll have in 2 weeks we'll talk about them on the show.
Yeah, I have shelves in my desk that are blocked full of models in there that I don't. I've hid them away forever. It's gonna be an archaeological dig when I pass away, that someone's gonna clear this and they're gonna be like, oh, there's 2 kilbies of just models here.
You can't be a miniature collector without having a little bit of hoarder inside.
Oh yeah, you have to be a hoarder. So I'm just glad I'm not filthy rich, because then I would just have a bigger house with more stuff to hoard.
Yeah. I can see that.
So, all right, everybody, we're out of here. We will see you in a couple weeks. Everybody take care and be safe.
See you later, guys.
Bye.